Basically, this dunya, people believe planets is just like a ball, sort of like a football or a rugby ball or a sort of planet with an outer circle, sort of like a train metro line, Glasgow. Glasgow's orange tube stations, underground tube stations. The thing is, even Dr. Zakir Naik has got it wrong, and he has 100 million followers. Sheikh Imran Hussein, he's also got it wrong. Many of the scholars have actually got it wrong. See, we've always been taught that the dunya is round. But how can it be round when it has four corners? North, south, east and west. That's the perception of education of today's youth. That there's billions of videos, trillions of videos now on YouTube. There is books, libraries that are selling up-to-date Sahih al-Bukhari hadiths, doctored versions of Qurans. It's embarrassing because we come from this religion. Shia version, Sunni version, Wahhabi version, Balevi version, Jordanian version, a Tony Blair version of the roadmap to peace in the Middle East, which never fell through. More territory has been lost overnight. This is a new, what you call Islam generation, and what people used to believe was you have good, evil, and a bit of both, or in the middle, as you say. But that is wrong. The fact is, if you look at a compass, if you look at Kana Kaaba in Mecca, it's got four sides. It's sort of a rectangular box shape. Holds many treasures, secrets. Unfortunately, due to food poisoning and too much spice, too much bad diet, and too much enemies from within my own people, and within families, we are facing what you call destruction of our own bodies, simply because what we've been taught as youth, even in our Western schools and in our private religious schools, is not always what the true reality of how the universe and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the universe into existence. Many conspiracy theories that just polarizes people's brains, sort of like asbestos and gritting roads and motorways to prevent car accidents from ice forming. Now, if you imagine, Dr. Zakir Naik was one of the first scholars to use the term ostrich's egg, which, by the way, I'm not saying the world may be shaped by an ostrich egg. We have the international space stations, we have satellites, and satellites are round in shape. Now, the thing is, why the dunya has been kept like that is because the scholars have been funded by billionaires, millionaires, have their own Peace TV channel, which is good. However, if a scholar gets it wrong, and just say he's the top scholar, then the rest of the scholars look like dumbasses. Why Freemasonry network? No one believes it anymore. The triangular stand, as you call it, for the cameras. It's actually, if you think about it, it's a box. It's simply a box. If you think outside the box. Now, a box would have 4 sides. Meaning that what we used to believe was 3D cinemas is now actually, in today's term, 4K smart TVs. OLED curved televisions. LED lighting. Now, my point is, if the world is an ostrich egg, it would still have 4 sides. North, south, east and west. North being at the top, south being at the bottom, east being at one side and west being at the other side. And therefore, if we take, for example, the theory of 4, the power of 4, that would mean the speed of light formula, 3 times 10 to the power of 8, is in fibre optic cables. Now, how can an ostrich egg or a planet or a form of light known as entity, we'll just use that as an example, if God or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is communicating in the prehistoric Islamic days with Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, then if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has only 3 channels of communication, then the formula 3 times 10 to the power of 8, the speed of light, why is it then odd or even number? Therefore, Dr. Zakir Naik has been proven wrong by a schizoaffective patient, mental health patient, who unfortunately has been treated as a person of uneducation. I have proved Dr. Zakir Naik wrong. And my family still refuse to accept that their sick, twisted bleach plan or poisoning plan has failed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done justice. And they cannot explain the 3 times 10 to the power of 8 when 8 is an even number. And if we were in a Freemasonry network, meaning good, middle and bad, it's no. Mansour Zia is right about one thing. It's four. These four, meaning four, why Muslims are allowed to marry four women. Mr. Cousins got that right as well. The reason is because the numbers have to match for the timings in the internal brain of the male and female to coexist. Now, why is the Palestinian crisis? Why is there Iraqi crisis? Why is the Syrian crisis, Iranian crisis, American crisis, British crisis, the even Irish crisis? Why all these wars happen? Out of sync timings. And this is why there is four worlds within one box.